Greetings, hello and welcome again, and I would rather say Happy New Year to you all. This is Dr. Max from Dr. Max Online School, and to show that I'm serious this year, I'm not going to waste much of our time. So we are moving to Unit 2 under our subject of 0471 Cambridge Travel and Tourism. So we did a clean sweep of the Unit 1 or the 5 topics. So we are now moving on to Unit 2, and Unit 2 is all about global tourism. So in the next days, we'll be looking at global tourism, and there are about 6 topics under this global tourism. And since I'm your best teacher, I'll try my higher levels best to explain each and every concept much to the best of your understanding and knowledge. So there are about 6 topics. So it's 2,1, 2,2, 2,3, 2,4, 2,5, and 2,6. So 2,1 will cover the scale of travel and tourism, and 2,2 will cover the features of destinations and their appeal to different types of tourists, the role of organizations involved in development and management of destinations. There are also factors affecting tourism development and management. Managing destinations sustainably is also linked with 1,3, which is sustainable travel and tourism. So you also have to know the correlation between topics. So lastly, we also have economic, environmental, and social cultural impacts of travel and tourism. So today we are just looking at the scale of travel and tourism under global tourism. To what extent is tourism popular in this world? How big is it? Is it small? Is it big? We'll find out. So that's it, guys, global tourism. And I would like to reiterate again the points that we're supposed to expand in this unit. We have to understand factors affecting the scale of global tourism demand, explain reasons for the growth of sustainable tourism, understand features of destinations and their appeal to different types of tourists. You also have to explain the role of organizations involved in the development and management of destinations, and understand factors affecting tourism development and management, and evaluate the economic, environmental, and socio-cultural impacts of travel and tourism, and also discuss sustainable practices in destinations. So we are going to look at the scale of global demand. That's 2,1. So let me start by saying, I once asked you whether or not it's true that tourism is big or small. We'll find out. So travel and tourism has grown, and that's a fact, and it has kept growing for many years. And more tourists have wanted to travel to more destinations, and the demand for tourism has increased. So at the end of the day, you find out that as people in their droves or in their large numbers engage in tourism, there will be now growth in travel and tourism, which has had, and it has some impacts, some economic, environmental, and social cultural impacts on a wider scale. So tourism has some impacts or some effects. For example, economic impact, the effects that travel and tourism has on money and jobs. Whenever people engage in travel and tourism, how does it affect their money? How does it affect their jobs, even those in the actual tourism industry? So there's also the environmental impact, like the effects that travel and tourism has on the government. The impacts can be positive. The word impact means a result, also means an effect. So effects may be either good or bad. You also have to analyze and look into that. There's also a social cultural impact, the effects that travel and tourism has on people and their way of life. So we have factors affecting tourism demand and how they are managed. We have factors affecting tourism demand and how they are managed. Number 1, we have economic factors. Economic factors also affect tourism demand. Like factors that affect tourism demand are managed. For example, national governments of countries manage the factors that affect demand for tourism in their countries. What are the economic factors that we have to consider? Number 1, there is a thing called disposable income. Right? Disposable income means the remaining part of income after paying taxes and buying necessities. Let's say you are working as a teacher or any civil servant, you are a soldier, a police officer, you've managed to pay your taxes, you've managed to pay for your rentals, for your school fees and everything else that you need. The money that you are left with is sort of a surplus or a gain. That's the disposable income. It's just the money that you can use to spend. That's why you find out that people who spend money recklessly without even paying rent or without paying for their school fees, for the school fees of their kids, are considered to be what? To be stupid, Sorry for using this word. So disposable income is like, in this context, we are teaching you to be responsible too. You can't engage in tourism. But tourism, in one way or the other, is also luxurious. You can't engage in tourism activities while at least you don't have any food at your place, you don't have a roof over your head, So the other consideration is the amount of money governments invest in tourism. That's an important factor too. So national governments, they invest in travel and tourism by using money for development, because tourism has to be developed. You have to develop the roads which link to the tourist destinations. You have to develop the hotels there. That's the duty of the government, So people might want to go to a certain area because the road which goes to that area is smooth. That's the duty of the government, to ensure that the road is smooth, is passable. So, for example, a country's government can use money to improve transport facilities too, such as airports, roads, and railways. And a government could also invest in tourism by paying for the marketing of its country as a destination. That's why we also have a Ministry of Tourism. So another consideration are social factors that affect tourism. For example, demographics. When you talk about demographics, it's all about the population, the numbers. So it includes the numbers, age, and the level of disposable income of the population of a location. So demographics affect the number of outbound tourists from a country. Like, for example, some countries have increased the number of retired people. We have increased the disposable income and leisure time to travel, so that they can go on holiday or visit friends and relatives. Let's say if the person is a retiree, a retired person has a lot of time on his or her own disposal because they are not going to work, and in some developed countries they have the money. So that alone will ensure that will help them, will easily help them to want to engage in tourism. So there's also health awareness is also increased globally. That's another factor. Like, consumers are more aware of the importance of diet, exercise, and fresh air for good health. So health awareness has increased the demand for activities, outdoor holidays. I've seen many videos even on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on what we have some influencers who teach people about fitness programs, about the right foods to eat and stuff. So some people might want to travel to visit them, or would like to travel to other countries just to experience the breath of fresh air, so that their health can be enhanced or improved. So this awareness has increased the availability of health, fitness, and spa products and services, which many large hotels, for example, the 4-star or the 5-star hotels, also offer those services. They now provide to satisfy consumer demands. There is also social consciousness thereof. Like, the people are being enlightened, their minds are being opened for them to accept tourism. So social consciousness has increased, and media and social media have increased the consumer awareness of other people and the difficulties others face in life. So the demand for socially sustainable tourism has increased. Like, more consumers want to buy travel and tourism products and services that bring positive social impacts to destinations. And fashion and trends affect the demand for tourism products and destinations. And destinations can become more or less fashionable. Like, what is a trend? A trend is sort of the general direction of change. One trend is for more sustainable tourism. That's where they improve or they promote eco-friendly destinations that are becoming more fashionable, and more people are also becoming aware of the importance of looking after their health. Increase the health awareness is a trend. So we also have technological factors too. Technology is also important. It's also helping to, let's say I have my own guest house which has a dam and stuff. I have to market it. And what do I use to market it? I have to use technology. And technology has led to the proliferation of social media platforms. I need my TikTok. I need my WhatsApp. I need my Facebook, you know. So you might get a popular person or influencer who comes to your place. You can offer them a place to rest, some free food, the free exploration of the area. Then you shoot some videos. Then, you know, that person can draw the people, can draw more clients and customers for you, you know. So that's how you do. Technology is helping. So transport developments too. For example, more airports with more technology at the airports, bigger aircraft, and also what with the faster trains also help in boosting what. Technology to improve the what. So development in information and technology, for example, online booking too, and the growth of social media has also helped in the growth of global tourism. So there are also political factors to consider. Politics also affect tourism. For example, terrorism can deter tourists when attacks take place in a destination. So let's say there's a terrorist attack, and you know the terrorist attack might see the destruction of of buildings and roads. So it won't be safe for anyone to go to that area. And war reduces the number of tourists who want to travel to an affected country. So political stability is a factor when dealing with the tourism. Political stability is a factor affecting tourism demand, like political instability in a destination, which can encompass things like riots and demonstrations, lockouts, right? And they can be seen on the media. People might not want to visit that area because of that, because when you are dealing with the tourism, you need to relax, you need to enjoy your money, you know. So tourism becomes reduced in a destination where there is political instability. So safety and security concerns are caused by terrorist attacks, war, and political instability. So again, when you talk about COVID as an example, you find out that it is the political leaders, the government coming through with those imposing those lockdowns, you know, imposed limitations on travel affect tourism demand. The national governments can decide to limit tourism. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic caused the governments to impose those government-induced lockdowns, which limit on travel and within and between countries. You know, there's a lady called Rosie. She was explaining the political factors and how they can affect tourism demand. She said that war and tourism both reduce demands for tourism, and the tourists may be frightened to visit a destination where there have been a war or terrorist attacks. A tourist may prefer a peaceful destination with the little risk of terrorism. She went on to say political stability can help tourism. For example, tourists may feel safe visiting destinations with few worker strikes or street protests. Riots in the destinations may scare tourists away, and governments can impose limits on tourism too. Like during the COVID-19 pandemic, many national governments strictly limited international and domestic tourism, reducing numbers as a way to reduce the spread of the diseases, you know. So that's because she's quite an intelligent girl. So there are also some environmental factors to consider, like environmental factors that causes or that reduces tourism demand include extreme weather such as storm, hurricanes and typhoons, natural disasters such as earthquakes, tsunamis and volcanic eruptions. And you can see that more people are now concerned about the environment, you know. Yes, there is so much environmental awareness right now. You see that many people are now concerned about the environment. Increased consumer concern about the environment is a trend. So this concern about the environment affects the way people travel and the destinations they choose to visit. And sustainability in travel and tourism has increased as consumers demand more sustainable transport and more sustainable products and services in destinations. So there are also some health factors to consider too, like health factors affect the level of tourism demand. We have our COVID, it's now sounding monotonous, our COVID example, like in 2010 and 2021, the world began to be badly affected by the pandemic, which was caused by the COVID-19 virus. So the disease spread around the world. It greatly affected tourism because airports were shut, tourism destinations were also shut. So the risk of diseases reduces tourism demand, and the pandemics reduce tourism demand greatly. You know, so that's there's a case study titled "Pandemic and Tourism. What's next?" You know, people had to look for ways to sustain themselves after such a pandemic. So right, so that's it for this lesson. I think next lesson we'll be looking at the features of destinations and their appeal to different types of tourists. That's what we're going to look at. So global tourism 2.1, we are done and dusted the scale of travel and tourism. Thank you guys, and bye bye for now.